help them differentiate the assignment for the research project. I'll go to their meeting or whatever. So you're differentiating all the things for all the kids with different levels, along with the special education teacher. And some of the IEPs, you have to figure out the student only has to do 50% of an assignment. How do you do 50% of a research paper?
How do you modify?
Yeah, how do you modify with some of these? I was working with a teacher yesterday where the IEP said that he would learn one new math skill a marking group. Okay. You can learn variables, because you learn variables all year, so we'll just say variables. Whatever he does, it's all variables. That's his new skill. Whether there's one variable or two variable, I don't know. You just have to figure out how to do the modifications without lessening the content. So they get the content really fast to reach, because that's what they have to do to keep the teachers. You know, there's a teacher improvement plan with the new APPI 2 years in a row, and then have an easier time in it.
As far as paperwork, from what I've seen, observing the literacy specialist in the middle school, we're using I know for when I was doing middle school AIS, we were using this program called RTIM, and it's this very involved record-keeping system where you're doing narratives and checking several boxes and showing that there's growth from one quarter to the next and recording that. And I believe the literacy specialist was using a program almost identical, but the narratives were more involved in going over student lifestyle levels and achievement levels, and showing by way of testing that there were improvements being made. So that in that way, this a new student learning objective system with the testing wouldn't seem that foreign to the literacy specialist that's there now. In high school AIS, we have a lot easier of a time. We give a pass or fail grade, and and we put a comment, and the comments we don't even come up with them. They're all canned comments. We just click, student needs to work on reading comprehension more, or we click students writing is lacking organization, something like that. So it's almost like the high school AIS is taken less seriously in a way, although it's very much a numbers game. It seems like, just based on the scores, students are going to be in the class, and as long as the school can say this person is in the AIS, it almost doesn't matter how much they actually grow, and so like if we're comparing my AIS class to someone else's, I don't really know, are they achieving the same amount in that class versus mine? There's not really a way to measure that right now. So that's tricky.
RTI is response to intervention.
Yeah.
And RTIM Direct is the program, it's the counterpart to IEP Direct online. And it was for AIS as opposed to special ed program. And it's not being used anymore at the high school level. We use that. That's how we keep track of all of our students. That was our recording device. I don't know what they're going to do now, but that was another piece.
We're just getting it. Maybe about your stuff.
Well, I don't know, but I know that at $350-some thousand a year, it was a bit pricey for our district, so that may be the reason.
Well, we have a wide range of students in here, and they all, I know, are dying to find out what skills do they really need to take from this program with them into the world in the afterlife. Life after this program is done. So, in terms of literacy, what do they need to know? What do they really need to be sure that they know?
You need to have a really good background in literacy strategies for students. A of all kinds and all levels. You need to have a grab bag of tools that you can pull out something at a moment's notice to support a student. You need to be incredibly flexible, and you need to be willing to move to someone else as opposed to them coming to you to so that you get the information that you need to support students. The expectation has always been that you are the one that's going to go get the materials that you need, as well as get the information from the core teacher. Take seriously every opportunity that you have to learn about testing models, to take a look at assessments and how you assess a student as a reader, so that you have a really strong foundation of understanding when it comes to knowing where a kid is. You can't start at a 5th grade level if you can't identify what that is. Know what that looks like. If you've got a high school student in their 5th grade reading level, what kind of book materials are you going to be using? It's a real grab bag. And you've got to be willing to be very open to look at all kinds of ideas. Sometimes the smallest thing will come up and you will go, wow, I learned that 12 years ago. Where is that? And it's something that will fit that situation. And it, you know, someone once told me, nothing you ever learn is ever wasted. And if you're going into literacy, that's the bottom line. Nothing you ever learn in this program will be wasted. Good.
I was fortunate enough this summer to do some interviewing, and the candidates that made is this a different question? Should I talk about this? Okay, it's fine.
We'll segue, it's fine.
They didn't know anything about, some of the candidates didn't know anything about the school. It felt like they didn't research what our school did. So that would be something that I would think you would need to look at. And look at what program, if you're going elementary, what reading program are they using? How are they testing it? Are they doing a DRE2, or what are they doing? And if you can't answer the questions, how often, what level my child's at a DRA2, I don't know anything about DRA2. I just have my little sheet that I know kids coming up from middle school, elementary school, they're a DRA2 score here, how it translates into my Lexar scores. But it made an impact on me and the other interviewers, candidates that had information about the school, how many students went to school, what programs we did, if they did Storytime. And I know that you had Mildenet in high school, and I know that Mildenet's a credit recovery program, and I know that you do Read 180, and that's a scholastic. Just that they knew, they may not have gone too deep, but at least they knew something about the school.
Well, that means that they should know something about all kinds of reading programs that are out there.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on the surface. Do you see one, pick it up. Read the cover at least.
And get all the free samples you can. In fact, I just used one of my folders that I needed to make up for one of my classes, graduated a long time ago. It had different reading programs in it, so I was able to use something from that program back in the late 90s.
Yeah, I would say hold on to your portfolio binder. That's a very useful tool. And I guess we're talking about like what people are looking for. And everyone's struggling to figure out the Common Core learning strategies or the learning standards, and how people need to adapt with that. So to be familiar with what the goals are of the Common Core standards would be very helpful, and how to incorporate close reading strategies. The catchphrase for close reading, they're saying is instead of going a mile wide, they're saying go a mile deep with your instruction. And it makes a lot of sense in terms of literacy instruction. It's an idea that a lot of teachers are unfamiliar with. At my school in the English department, we're used to teaching, say, like 7 novel units in a year and just kind of, just rushing through it to some extent. And a lot of low-level students, the illiterate students, who are unable to keep up or just kind of left behind. That's sort of like the old model. So what I've tried to do as I've been coming up in the program, and just my instincts as a caring professional, is to try to see where the gaps are and change that. And so you want to have, like as what Kathy was talking about, ideas for, Tracy, I'm sorry, ideas for improving and catching those struggling students, because the schools want answers. The administrators are as lost as everyone else, and they want literacy professionals to come in and help them fix it, because they don't know what to do. And with the new APPR guidelines, the administrators are in hot water also. If the teachers aren't performing, the administrators get in trouble, and they can lose their job. So there's pressure from all over the place, and so people want answers. That's what I can offer. Being willing to step up and create things that don't exist. Listening to one of Tracy talking about PLCs in their school. We don't have that at Sherburne. I need to start that. We have professional development days that are very disjointed, and there's not a lot of professional learning communities happening just in my English department. I need to step up and help create those connections, because they're not there. People don't really understand the need for them yet. So I think you just have to be, a lot of it is just being brave enough to use what you know and help those people that are used to doing things a certain way, just help them through to this new, I don't know about new, but into a different era where they do need to care more about this. Because the Common Core does have a lot of great literacy-minded ideas attached to it. But the problem is it's being thrown at people, and there's not a lot of time or energy to really understand it and adopt it, so it's being fumbled through. You don't really understand how to use it.
Now, this question might be a bit challenging for all three of you because you're all readers. But what one book would you say is an excellent resource and everybody here needs to read it to help them in their growth and development in the world of literacy?
I don't know whether it would be specific to literacy. But I think one of the things that I would suggest any literacy student read is Carol Dweck's Mindsets. There are plenty of books out there. Nice Irishman. I wish I could remember his name.
Could you just repeat the name of that book?
Mindsets.
By Carol?
Dweck. D-W-E-C-K. And what she talks about are fixed and growth mindsets. Are you here and believe that that's where your intelligence is, and that's where it's going to stay?